Dun 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 dun! This is the Ayatollah of Alcoholic, Ian Wadley. You are now getting ready to break into the Vieira Vault. Can you believe this guy doesn't even have an intro? And I'm bad at music, so here's Ralph.
Thank you very much, Ian, and it is another episode of the Vieira Vault Show, and this is a really good one. I actually have my band members, Thrash Or Die, join me on this episode, talk about our adventures in Colombia the past weekend. We just got back 2 days ago, and you can probably hear it in my voice. I haven't had much sleep since, I haven't had much sleep in Colombia, and since I've been back, and I just woke up from a good hibernation of, I don't know, about 8 hours, which is about 20 hours to normal people. And, yeah, it's a really good one. We discuss our adventures there, and plus the controversy we left behind, where I actually not only showed up on newspapers and radio, but even TV reports. But we get all into the controversy as you listen to us talk about Colombia. It's a really good one. So before we get into it, I got more reviews. And I got to say, people that leave reviews on Podbean, I want to thank James McCormick, who hooked me up with a lot of comments I got on Podbean that I can't see, but he could, and he screenshot and sent it to me. So I'm going to read them now. First comment is from WN Nations, and he writes, Ralph makes all the girls flood their basements, and I'm there to mop up. Man, that's an awesome comment. I got to remember that one. Girls flood their basement. I see what you did there. I love it. Thank you. JR West 621 says, just outstanding podcast, Ralph. Probably my favorite ever. Love your talk about all the great bands and tours you have seen, man. Maiden and Priest in their prime and original and only Van Halen. Seeing Randy with Ozzy, the Creatures tour. So many I missed by just a few years. These kids that never got to see Pantera destroy live or Roth own a whole arena. King Diamond back in the day. Wow, bro. Between your music collection and the shows you have seen, you are the fucking man, and you tell a story well. Thanks for sharing with us. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for sharing that comment. Okay, NM Lewis writes, great show, man. Once again, your greatness trumps my massive dislike for Kiss. I think this is the start of another great Dr. Fuck project. You're the hardest working spick around. Wait, what, spick? What the fuck, man? Jeez. I get offended at the truth. Thank you, NM Lewis 78, I'm sorry. JR West 2621 writes, James West here, love the podcast. I totally agree with your views about politics and music, bro. I think the same way. Always and forever for Spammy Gay Bar. All right. A Sammy Hagar hater. Love that. And James West is a cool dude that always leaves comments on the Rock and Metal Combat podcast YouTube page. And if you're not a part of it, you should join it, because on that page, on the YouTube page, I put up unedited episodes and stuff that you won't hear on the regular Podbeam episode, and vice versa. There's stuff that you'll hear on the Podbeam version and iTunes version you won't see in the YouTube. So I like to put exclusives on both sides. So thank you again. Again, J.R. West wrote, it's James West, great podcast. You always kick ass, bro. Thank you, man. You are the man. I will always support you, brother. And thank you. I really do appreciate that, sincerely. WN Nations writes, Ralph's heckin' show on the new podcast is great and really makes you want to take your clothes off. He really is the star child of podcast. Well, thank you. Ah, yay! Ralph Vieira is a sex machine, and that alone is a reason enough to listen to his new podcast. Man, I love these comments, man. They're really stroking my ego, bro. Okay, well, let's see. Another Podbeam. Let me scroll here. And this one is from Terrence Reardon, my boy. He leaves a comment. Love the episode and the show, brother. Yet another winning episode, my good buddy. Thanks for sticking up for me, good friend. You know I'm there for you, my friend Terrence. Always there to steer you in the right direction. And I've been very proud of you for easing up on the hate for that other podcast, like I asked you to. And keep up the good work. Parker Smykle, Smykle wrote, another great episode, Ralph. I love hearing you and Ian's thoughts on movies. Keep up the great work. Take care. That was from our last episode, and there will be more episodes of the movies, and I think I will always use Ian, because he is my Siskel to my Ebert. So thank you very much, Parker. And those are the Podbeam reviews. And if you leave a Podbeam review that I did not read, then that's why I can't see it for some reason. I don't know why, but we'll figure it out, my friends. All right, and let's go. We got some more reviews here. We got one on iTunes from Mark Alden Taylor. He says, you got the spark. Your show is informative and shows me things I missed out on. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Mark. It is very informative, especially when I say Sammy Hagar sucks. So I'm glad you're learning. Inside joke, if you know this guy. I think that's it. Yeah, that's all the comments there is for this week, and I want to thank you all. And please keep them coming. I will read them all. So I really do appreciate all the comments. Next week, tomorrow, I am leaving for Nashville for the Rock and Pod Expo, and I'm very excited about that because I hang out with Ian Wadley, my co-host from the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast, for the second time, and I think this time is going to be even better. You know, we're both out of our element. Before it was just me and his house. Now we're both away from home together, so there's going to be debauchery involved, and I'm going to do a documentary on us. And I'm taking my video camera, and hopefully we'll do a show while I'm there for the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast. So, what else is there to talk about? Oh, yeah, I'm going to see Raven while I'm there, and also Graceland. I'm very excited because I'm a big fan of Elvis Presley. And Ian really hates Elvis Presley, and he is going with me. What a guy. But at the same time, I will knock him out if he disrespects the king in his home. But, I'll knock him out with my fist, but I'll wake him up with kisses. Yeah! All right. So, I want to thank also the great Chris Sinzak, who is responsible, worked really hard to make this Rock and Pod Expo happen. I'm excited to meet him and Ken Mills from Podcast. Then, we're going to have Michael Wagner there from, the great producer from so many albums I love, like Accept albums, Slaves to the Grind, and so on. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I am airing this right when it's going to happen, because I'm airing it today, which is 2 days before the expo. So if you're in the Nashville area, go check it out, man. Go check out the event page, Rock and Pod Expo in Nashville, and there's going to be record vendors there. You can buy albums, and, you get to meet me. I mean, shit, how thrilling is that? I love meeting me. Every morning I get up, I look in the mirror, and I go, oh my God, it's you again. And, yeah, so I guess that's all I got to talk about for now. So why don't we get into my trip to Colombia featuring my bandmates, Josh. The thing about Thrash or Die is that everybody has a name. We all, invent names for ourselves. So Josh is, in Thrash or Die, his name is Mosh. Brian, the drummer, which I got to explain, and this is actually not explained on the podcast, so I will say it. Our drummer, Alex Marquez, is really sick, so he couldn't play the show, so we got Brian Wilson, who, yeah, I know you're going to say Beach Boys. I mean, goddamn. I can imagine how sick he is of it. Every time I mention my drummer, everybody's like, oh, the Beach Boy? Oh, you're so humorous. It's like when somebody walks up to me, go, Ralph Mouth. Oh, wow, how original. Never heard that before. But he's called Brutal Brian, and we have John Pucci, and his name in the band is Violator. And I love those names. It's pretty damn cool. And, oh, man, I had so much fun with these guys over there. And they're just fun people to be around. It was a situation where we went through a lot of hard times, which you will hear, but we all band together. We all stuck together. We never fought amongst ourselves. We never had one argument. And we really loved each other as brothers. And we went there with a mission. And we carried out that mission because that show will always be like engraved in my mind. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. Playing in front of that many people enthusiastic about my band. It was just mind-blowing. And take that, all you fucking haters. Let's see you do what I did. Don't mean to brag, but in a way, I should to you. But who cares about the haters, right? You know, I don't know if I said it on my podcast before, but, you know, a lot of people focus on, oh, man, this person said this about your band. That person said that about your band. But if you go venture on all the comments my band gets, it's really like about 3% haters and 97% people that love it. And I always said it, and I'll say it again. Name me one band in the history of music that is universally loved. I talk about this on this episode as well. So I'm not going to repeat myself. And why don't we get into it? Here it is. The Thrash Or Die band talking about Colombia. It's a good one. Enjoy. So I got 3 of the 4 members of the Colombian Thrash Or Die lineup. We got Mr. John Pucci. Hi, John.
What up, man? How's it going?
Pretty good, bro. Josh.
How's it going, brother?
And Brutal Brian.
What's going on?
Oh, you know, it's the rent, bro. Hey, so we're here to talk about the Colombian trip and the huge uproar we caused. That, as I understand, according to Leo, I'm even on TV now. They talked about me on the news.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, and I will talk about that. But let's get started with how this all fucking took place. Let's start from the very, very beginning. I was born in Tarrytown, New York, and no, I'm just kidding. So our drummer Alex Marquez booked this show. He got sick, couldn't play the show. We only had, what was it, like 2 weeks to get shit down with Brian?
It was actually like a week. It was a week and a half.
We only had 10 days to break Brian into the band. Luckily, Brian's a fan of Thrash Or Die, so he knew the songs. But still, and plus, Pucci and Guillotine they're new members. So a lot of the songs we played that night, they've never played before. So it was a struggle. Many times we had to drive up to Pucci's house, which is about 90 minutes away. And then the other times they had to drive down here, which is 90 minutes away. But we busted our ass and we became solid as a motherfucker. And, so we flew to Colombia. We landed in Rio Negro. And what'd you guys think?
I've been to Colombia before, so I knew what to expect. But I think these guys should say what they thought about it.
What'd you think, John?
I pretty much, everything Josh told me about the scenario, I knew the big show was going to be crazy. But when we first got there, I was starting to question things because we got in that small town and there's like 50 stray dogs running around eating through the trash. And, it was just like kind of a sketchy scenario. People getting their hair cut in every business, bootlegs, no commercialized areas. You didn't see any mainstream businesses like Walmart or that. It was just like kind of a bunch of shack houses, And,
you mean Jose's Chicken?
Yeah.
And it was funny because the hotel we were staying at right across the street, there was 3 barber shops in a row.
Oh yeah.
And one was like a phone store / barbershop. The other one was a barbershop, and the other one was a bootleg video place and video games / barbershop.
It was my first time out of the country, and it was very shocking to see the differences, but it was very beautiful over there, really. The scenery was amazing, and to see the different cultures was very interesting to me personally.
Oh yeah, no, and it was wild, man. It was just mountain after mountain after mountain. But we'll get into that because that was like probably the worst part of our trip. But it was an experience that I guess was cool to have because now we're at home,
Yeah,
But
you can laugh about it now.
So we get there and we play our first show. You guys remember the name of the club? I don't.
No.
I don't think it even had a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was called No Stage. And
Yeah, exactly.
It had no stage. So we played this show with no stage, and there was 30, 40 people there. It was not that packed.
But I mean, that was as many people were there. That was it, yeah.
Yeah, but they were crazy, dude. They were into it, and I was with them in the audience. I mean, the audience was the part of the stage, And it was a ripping show, dude. We did, and I just uploaded today, and we did 45 minutes, believe it or not.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, we did
Damn.
a 45-minute set. Hot as fuck.
I think that was the hottest show I've ever played.
It was the first show Brian Wilson ever played without a shirt.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but it was great. It was a great experience. Other than fucking up TerraVision, everything was perfect. I'm the type of guy that every time we play a show, after the show's done, oh, you fucked up in this part, you fucked up in that part. I'm like, I didn't notice. Boy, TerraVision, I noticed. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? It sounded like a plane was crashing.
The gear situation was a little brutal.
Yeah, you had problem. What was your problem that night with the drums?
Just about everything, really.
Really? Well,
Things were not staying in place. The pedals were offset in every way.
Well,
I thought you did a great job though, man.
Yeah, Brian,
Thank you.
You're amazing, bro. You really did pull through, and you pretty much saved the day with Thrash Or Die in Colombia. If it wasn't for you, dude, we would have never played that festival. Because who the fuck could have we got in this clutch situation other than you that would have learned that quick? You already had that head start. Because, after all, you're a Dr. Fuck nut swinger, and I don't blame you. I rule.
I have to say that I've been a huge fan of the band for many, many years now, and if this really is the end of Thrash or Die, I feel very honored that I had a chance to be a part of it and to close it out.
Yeah, you were the grand finale. Like when Rocky fought fucking Apollo Creed. You were in that scene, bro. It was like the apex of Thrash or Die, the grand finale. If anything, I mean, all this hard work and all this bullshit I put up with for 10 years, all just went away on that stage. Even to a lesser extent, as many glitches as we had in Rio Negro, I really did enjoy playing that show. I thought we played good. Other than TerraVision, I mean, I'm sure you guys spotted other mistakes that I didn't notice, but I thought we played a rip-roaring set, but not as good as the next day,
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, I was pretty pumped that day, the first day, because I started getting all bummed out because we walked in there and there's 3 people there. I'm like, oh man, is it going to be one of those shows? And then we get back and there's 40 people in there. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I got in the mode,
Yeah, because when we got there, there was a band playing with 3 people in there, but there was 40 people sitting outside.
Yeah, exactly.
So then when we went on, most of those people came in and watched us, and it was great. It was amazing. And we played the set, drenching sweat, and we didn't leave.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I gotta tell you, man, I like those kind of shows too because it's so intimate and everybody's just up in your face and I don't know, man. I've done a lot of touring and played bigger shows and smaller shows, and I love all of them, honestly.
Oh yeah, me too. I don't even mind playing to fucking bartenders. To me, it's just about fucking getting up there and fucking ripping it,
Yeah, and when it's like that in your face, it's even better, man. I remember being in Paris and getting kicked in the fucking head and shit, and Like that kind of shit. I love that, man.
Yeah, and it was also cool they knew some of the songs too. They were requesting Garantula and Fatal Fury. And this is like a little town on top of a mountain in Colombia. And they know us. You know, I mean, how amazing
they were
is that?
Singing the words and everything.
Yeah, they knew the words. And this is a band that is not signed. And can you think of any unsigned band that has achieved what Thrash or Die has done? I can't.
Like
No.
You know? So then after the show, we spent, like an hour and a half taking pictures and...
hanging out, doing shots.
I've never taken so many pictures in my life.
Well, how about at the fest? The fest, you took more pictures, no?
No, yeah, but in general, on this entire trip.
Yeah, well, and it was great. My favorite part of that night before the show was Brian Wilson filming me doing my vocal exercises.
Yeah, that was a very interesting experience. as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. He had to play it. He had to play it back. La 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 la. What a nice kid.
I guess I'm so conditioned from our local scene. I thought different, because say a Churchill show, good bands will be playing and everyone will sit out in the parking lot and not watch the band.
Right.
So it's like we deal with that all the time. I had that in the back of my head the whole time. Like, we're going to play and everyone's just going to be sitting outside while we play. But it was totally the opposite. It's everything I wish would be in our scene,
Well, what did I say that night at the show? I actually said, you guys are better than the people in Miami. And I'm leaving this on my podcast. Colombia kicks Miami's ass.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It totally does.
Because they're more passionate. I notice Latin America, even here in Miami, you notice like the most dedicated metalheads are our Latin friends from Colombia, like Manny Q.
Yeah.
And people like that are so, even like, the girls over there are more metal than the guys down here,
Yeah.
They're more metal than me, I'll tell you that.
Pretty much in America, it's a fashion show. Everyone's overprivileged, so they, I'm not saying there aren't diehard metalheads out in America. There definitely are. But everyone's so overprivileged and it's oversaturated over here. So people, kind of don't give it that extra, but, we do. But we're like rare breed, what I mean?
Like in Colombia, you won't see nobody taking a picture with a band playing behind them. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
That's what people do down here. Hey, look, I was at the show. But
and even at the festival, like looking down at the stage, nobody had their phones up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing.
Something I didn't even expect.
Yeah.
Well, I won't lie to that. There was that dude wearing the Sarcophago shirt that took a selfie with me while we were playing, but I didn't even care, dude, because he was like buying me, shots and beers every time I said Sarcophago. He'd be like, yeah, go grab me a beer. So I'm like, yeah, you can take a selfie while we play. I don't care. Normally I'd get weirded out.
It was amazing. So, we also forgot to talk about the pizza we had before the show.
Oh yeah. They brought us
good
food.
communist pizza.
They gave us communist pizza, and Brian Wilson had the greatest quote because I said, because the pizza was from a pizzeria called Che, where I had a picture of Che on it, Che Guevara, and Brian said, yeah, it makes sense since the pizza tastes like shit, and Che's a piece of shit.
I thought Florida pizza was bad. I'll never complain again.
You never
I
had.
say this.
Go ahead.
That pizza that we ate that night was better than the pizza we had after the fest.
Oh, the fest.
Yeah.
The pineapple pizza.
I'll agree.
Oh, pineapple and pizza just don't mix. But so then the next day, the nightmare, which was the festival though, it was like that day was like a shitty movie with an awesome ending. And we all cramped into a van with a reggae band from Mexico.
Yep.
With absolutely no room, and for it's a 6 hour and plus 6.5 hour trip to the festival from that area, from that Rio Negro, and 4 of those hours was going twisting and turning on mountains, left and right, and Brian got really sick. I mean, really sick. I mean,
I'd never been so sick in my life, I don't think.
Yeah,
I just remember looking over at him, and Brian's a pretty white dude, and seeing him even whiter than normal and sweating and looking at me like he was about to die. I was like, man, we got to do something. He's not going to make it.
Yep, he looked like Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yeah, thank fuck for those motion sickness pills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
saved
first,
my life. I would not have made it without those.
We first stopped, the first time Brian wanted us to stop, we stopped at this little, what the fuck was that place we ate? It wasn't even, it was like a wood shack with no door. And it was right on the corner of one of those twist and turn roads where it's like, dude, there must have been a time a car plowed into this place.
I'm sure, dude.
And we
I still want to see its health inspection report.
Yeah, right. I don't think they have that over there. So when we got there, like we walk in and there's like pots and pans and these women cooking stuff and they offer me the options. I said, I guess I'll have a sausage and white rice. And when I bit into that sausage, it was fucking nasty. And
man, let me tell you something. Those are the parts of trips I enjoy on tours, dude. To go into those little places and do that shit. Like, I don't know, man. When are you gonna do something like that again? You can always go to a McDonald's or a Burger King or something, but you'll always remember that little shack on the side of the road worrying about getting hit by a truck and eating that shitty ass sausage, man.
I almost got hit by a motorcycle. Remember that?
Yep.
Actually,
and then Poochie's sitting there, and Brian goes into the bathroom, and he's like, "Bro, I just saw a huge rat," and we're like, "Really? What the fuck?" So then we're looking around, and it ended up being a dog.
Oh, shit too. Dude, it was like Speedy Gonzales. It was just like flying around everywhere. I tried to pet it. It's like food. Hey.
The dogs there don't give a shit about you unless you have food.
Man, there's such a bad homeless problem. And then when we were leaving the next day, remember there was a dog banging another dog?
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, look, more homeless puppies. You know? He was banging the fuck out of a dog while a bystanding dog was there barking at it. Like, hurry up, it's my turn.
It's my turn next.
That dog got more play than I did all weekend.
But, that is true. Well, that's because you didn't know that ATM machine yet.
Yeah, right.
But so we and then finally the second stop they gave Brian some of those pills and a banana. I think that helped you a lot too, dude.
No, yeah. Dude. Also, what helped him was sitting up front and seeing the road.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
And I have to say, after sitting up front and not being sick as hell, the view was amazing.
Oh yeah, man.
Like, that you couldn't see anything from the back of the van, but from the front seat, like, it was one of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen in my life.
I agree. It was, and we stopped a couple places, took pictures, and those pictures we put up, people were like, "Wow, that shit's awesome." But yeah, and by like the 5 hours and a half, I'm sitting there just bitching at fucking Josh, how pissed off I was about this is bullshit, dude. We shouldn't be fucking cramped in here. My knees were killing me because they were pressed against the seat in front of me. I couldn't budge. I couldn't move. Nobody can move in that fucking van. It was just fucking hellacious. And finally, when we got to that venue, we got to the hotel of the festival. Yeah. I fucking was texting the promoter saying, "Motherfucker, you should be right here right now. We should be your number one priority. Drop everything you're fucking doing. I'm pissed off."
I've never seen you so mad in the many years that I've known you.
Yeah, I was pissed. I was really upset. Well, dude, I mean, we went through fucking hell, And we didn't get what we were promised, but we will talk about that because there was a big misunderstanding, a big miscommunication. So therefore, I got to stress, as much as I bitched about it, and then when he finally showed up, Leo showed up, I cussed him out. But in the end, dude, that guy's a great person, and I feel bad for telling him off because it was really out of his control,
Yeah, he did his best, man.
He did his best. He had too much fucking on his plate.
Exactly.
He's running a festival. He's dealing with, prima donna, Chet
Gilman.
Lovin bands. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but we're there, and then he tells us when we took Poochie somewhere to eat, he tells us that Gilman, the band after us, was like, "Oh, we better go on right on time." I don't care who's playing before us. We got to go on right on time. So they came to pick us up. I think it was like 7:15 or something. We waited.
Okay,
go ahead.
We waited at least an hour, dude.
This is where I need to step in, because we get there, and this whole trip over there was horseshit. So I have to go and immediately go to the club, pretty much, or to the fest to talk to the sound guy to set up the audio and find out what's up with my bass and all this other stuff. So I get over there and I talk to the guy, and everything's cool and all this stuff. And that's where I'm like, okay, now we need to get you guys over here. So I'm like, Leo, I need to get my gear. Can you call or have the bus go get them to come over? And he's like, okay, no problem. And then that's where you can start.
And also, I want to also bring up the fact that we were the headliners before Gilman was added. What happened was Gilman is like a huge deal, because he's saying, it's metal but in Spanish. So they ended up landing him, and this guy's been around since the 70s. So
it's like 40-year career or something.
Yeah, like a 40-year career, and so they ended up putting him after us, which is fine. We still went on at nighttime, and before they added him, they already sold 5,000. So that guy added 2,000. I mean, who knows how many of those 2,000 was just for him? They might have been for us too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So this guy's like, no matter what, we start on our time. I don't care about the band before us, blah, blah. So Leo's telling me this. So I said to Leo, I go, hey, he can go on time all he wants as long as we play our full set. Because we don't play. If we go on late, that fucker's going on late. So sure enough, they sent the van to come pick us up. And we're sitting in that van waiting 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes. Turns out that we had to go to the festival with that band, Gilman. And he was taking his sweet-ass time. And according to somebody, I won't say who, a Gilman guy was pulling a rock star shit. I'm not ready to leave. Finally, and then I was like, I don't give a fuck. This guy's going to have to wait now because they made us wait. And when we get to the festival and we get up on stage, I'll let Brian take over this part. What happened with your drums?
So, I see a reggae band playing right when we get there, and I see right next to the drum riser behind the amps, there's another drum set. And that drum set has just about everything that I had requested, and everything that I was promised, including, nice Zildjian cymbals, and two-legged hi-hat stand. And they said, I'm expecting them to set that up when the reggae band finishes, because obviously that's mine, right? And so they end up going off, and I go onto the drum riser, and they start handing me these really shitty, the cheapest cymbals you can buy, and this drum set that's almost falling apart, and it was just crazy, and I said, well, what's up with this? This is what I request. Everything here that I asked for is right there. Why can't I use it? And they said, well, Gilman said that this is theirs and no one else can touch it. So I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? What gives them the right to do that? I don't care who you are, that's just not right. You can't just take something of someone else's and say, oh yeah, no, they can't use that. That's mine now. That's bullshit, dude.
They don't even own the equipment. It's something that the festival brought them.
Hold up. First of all, Leo had me go through hell to make a rider, stage plot, and our excuse me, our requirements for food and stuff. So I had already sent that to him maybe 5 days before the event. So that's why all of that stuff was there. Gilman didn't even send a rider, Leo told me. So all of that was our stuff that was on stage we requested. And
I think that I yelled at almost everybody who was working that festival, I saw that, and I got really mad,
Yeah.
Not trying to be like a rock star, when I go, I've never played in front of that kind of audience before, And when I go on in front of that many people and they start handing me these really cheap cymbals and all this cheap equipment, that I feel like that makes me look unprofessional,
Exactly.
And, when I see everything that I asked for and was promised and they say I can't use it for a reason as stupid as that's, I'm going to get mad,
And then, what's funny is when we got back, Poochie starts telling me a story about right where we're at with you starting to get shitty with the guys about the cymbals and stuff. And at that point, I had been given a bass that didn't work. So I changed out the batteries. Nothing worked. I'm sitting here, doing this stuff. And I'm finally getting pissed at this guy because like 3 people I hand it to, he comes back and tries to plug the bass in to see if it works. I'm like, no, dude. It doesn't freaking work, like give me another goddamn bass right fucking now. Cause like now we're running into our set and I don't even have a bass. You know what I mean? So Poochie tells me, he's like, dude, I was trying to figure out with should they plug my stuff in? Should I plug my stuff in? I don't know. I'm gonna go over here and turn my amp up. And he's like, I was trying to, do this. And he's like, he turns around and he sees me yelling at this guy, like, give me another fucking bass right now. And he looks up and he sees you. This is fucking unacceptable. He's like, dude, he's just like, fuck it, man. I'm just gonna plug my shit in.
Yeah, and after some persuasion, I did get them to give me, I think, 2 cymbals off that set. So it was half nice cymbals that I was supposed to use and 2 really shitty ones. So we compromised. But yeah, and I don't think Gilman was very happy about that because they did. I'm pretty sure they called me out on stage actually during their set. I don't speak Spanish, but I definitely heard while I was watching their set something Thrash or Die, something baterista, which is drummer, and that's me.
Yeah, because when he said it, you came up to me and said, "What did he just say?" And I was like, I wasn't paying attention because the guy loves chess, so whenever he talked, I didn't want to hear what he had to say. And he goes, "Oh, he just said Thrash or Die and Paterita." I'm like, "That's you, dude."
I know it's me.
And then I was like, "Oh, this guy's bitching about you wanting what you asked for."
Yeah.
So this asshole not only was making demands before he even got to fucking Colombia, he also demanded that we don't play their instruments. It's not your instruments, asshole. It's what the fucking what the
the festival was providing.
Yeah, I'm serious.
It's the backline company, man, who brought the gear. And they brought the gear per our request. They did not send a rider or anything, a technical rider or nothing. I did. And it was your request and everyone in Thrash or Die's request. So those amps that were there and all that shit, they didn't even have the correct amp for you guys, but they had the amp I requested. And then when I finally get a bass that works, Leo's telling me, hey, dude, they've used this amp all day. Why don't you use the one on the other side? And I look at him, I'm like, dude, you're telling me this because the fucking bass player in this other band doesn't want me to use that shit. I was like, fuck that. I was like, I asked for this. I was like, I'm using it. And he looked at me and he's like, okay.
That was the same thing that happened with the cymbals,
Yeah.
Oh, so you played Gilman's bass player's bass?
No. That was another bass that they had to go get for me. The amp was the one that the bass player in this Gilman band was trying to tell Leo that I couldn't use. I had to use the bass amp on the other side of the stage.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That too.
Yeah, huh? I totally told him to go fuck himself.
The side of the stage you don't even play on.
That's what I told him. I was like, I don't even play on that side of the stage, dude. I was like, I'm not fucking switching my shit up for this fucking asshole. I was like, no, dude. I know what you're telling me. You're lying to me right now. I was like, it's not gonna work. You're fucking with somebody who knows what's going on.
Yeah, so, I wasn't gonna take shit from a band that I've never even heard of.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like I got a little shafted because that Marshall had sucked. I'm used to using, the classic PV 6505 plus, the 5152, which has a totally crushing tone. Marshall, don't get me wrong, Marshall's a classic amp, but it's not for my type of guitar playing. So you
got to understand this too, though. You're in a third world country, and the fact that they could put on an event like that is pretty amazing, man.
No, I'm not saying the event wasn't amazing. It was
no. I'm saying to get that kind of gear that we had was as pro as it was going to get.
Yeah, I wish I would have. I'm so glad I brought my guitar and pedals because I probably would have been screwed.
Well, I told you guys that beforehand because
I wish I would have requested it in my head too. I should have did that, but now I know for future references, I want to be like, I'm not playing. Unless I could bring my own head and my own guitar, and I'll use whatever speaker cab. That usually doesn't make a difference, but because you're playing.
Being a lefty too makes it hard.
Oh yeah, trust me. No.
So you have a few things to deal with that we don't have to.
Oh yeah, but just good gear and being accustomed to your type of amp and that, it makes a difference. It'll make you or break you.
Yeah, when I say that I needed certain things, it wasn't me trying to say like, oh, I need to have the best equipment in the world or else I'm not going on. It was less the fact that I saw it there. It was there, and being told I couldn't use it.
It was there because you asked for it.
Yeah, especially that too.
Yeah, but you did go a little overboard when you said you wanted hookers with blonde streaks and a blonde streak and a pink streak on each side of her head. I'm like, come on, dude. How's he going to find that,
Yeah, that was a little bit of a...
Yeah, that was very...
I went a little overboard there.
So, all right, then I guess we'll touch upon the controversy, how it happened. So we're performing... Oh, wait, no, I also have to bring up the iPod. That was funny. Oh. You want to talk about a Spinal Tap moment? We had this thing set up where we had intros to 3 or 4 songs and an intro to our show. So at the last minute, I'm like, hey man, I need to plug in this iPod, and the guy goes, look, all I can do is put the iPod near the microphone stand. So I actually had to do it in front of people, but I did it classy. Like at one point I would drop to my knees and fuck with they would know at some parts in the middle of a solo, I would go down there and program the next song. I was always like, I did really good, except one part where I was talking to the crowd and I stepped on the iPod, and not only one intro played, another one did. It's like I stepped on it and I clicked tracks, tick tick tick. I was like, whoops, which was pretty fucking bizarre. But we go up on stage, dude, and like the whole place fucking erupted. I saw like 2 separate pits, arms in the air, people going fucking apeshit. Another thing, like when you guys were all arguing on stage and shit with these people, I heard people in the crowd yelling "Dr. Fuck," like "Dr. Fuck, Dr. Fuck." I was like, "Oh, cool."
I do.
You heard it, right, Pooch?
Yeah, because I was like, I got my amp on. I'm like, I'm just gonna let Josh and Brian deal with it. I hope something goes through, because I'm like, I just keep looking over at that TV with the timer on it, and it's in the negative, and I'm like, oh shit, our set's starting. Like,
no, I didn't have no fear. I said I was gonna kill somebody if they were gonna cut our set, and I made it clear to Leo, hey man,
I think it's worth mentioning too that I think that we played to more people than Gilman did.
Yes, and a better reaction, a much better reaction. I saw no pits during Gilman, but yeah, we got a way better reaction, and so I go up on my first little talk. I'm talking about how beautiful the country is, and I've never seen so many mountains, and blah blah blah, and Chimba, Colombia. And that's something I wrote on my hand because they told me, dude, they love it when you say that, so I wrote it on my hand. People loved it.
It was Chimba Hue Puta.
Yeah, it was Chimba de Puta, Colombia. Oh, no, I puta, something like that.
Chimba Hue Puta, Colombia. Yeah.
There you go. So, people are loving it. People are loving it. And some guy in the crowd yells, perico. And perico is a slang word for cocaine. So when he yelled it, I yelled it back. I go, yeah, perico. And when I did that, the fucking place erupted. I didn't hear no boos.
No, I didn't either.
Everybody loved it. And then later on, I started talking about, in Spanish, because I can speak a real bad Spanish. I was explaining, yeah, in America, we get cocaine that's stepped on. I hear here it's pure, So, and dude, I'm telling you, and then during Fatal Fury, I got off stage and, because there's a barrier, like what was it, like a 15, 20-foot barrier from the stage to the audience.
Yeah, it's for the photographers to be able to go.
Yeah, the photographers were all there. So I got off the stage and I sang the song to everybody leaning against the barrier, and they were all fucking loving it. You know, everybody was into it. Everybody's grabbing me. I mean, nobody's pissed at me at all. You know,
Nah,
so
not at all.
then we play our set and we fucking killed it. We like right when we were about to play the last song, the stagehand was like, "Hey, one more song." I was like, "I know." Like, fuck that. We're not ending this till it's over, And we ran into Gilman's set. Fuck him.
Oh yeah.
So he already was pissed to begin with,
No. And I'm gonna say something too, because as much as I hated dealing with Gilman, I did enjoy their set.
Yes. I gotta say, dude, and I will say this now, and I'll probably get a little controversy if the Colombians are listening to this, but I am known to be a commie hater. I don't like Che. I have personal reasons. Family members have been like ancestors of mine were like personally killed by that guy. And his little minions. So I mean, I have a big resentment toward him and Castro. But I'm not going to rock the boat. I'm in a third world country. I'm not going to go up there and be political and talk bad about Che because we'd get lynched.
Most likely.
Yeah, I know better than to do that. But I got to tell you, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go finish, man. You're good.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, it was so special for me to play that song of my dad singing to the crowd. And that song is the intro to our anti-Castro song.
Yep.
But I didn't mention it was an anti-Castro song. But, in a way, it's kind of cool that we did an anti-Castro song before a Che loving band. You know what I mean?
Dude, and then afterwards, right afterwards, this guy pulls me aside and he's like, "Hey, can I do a radio interview for you? Listen, with you." And I'm like, "Okay, sure." So he starts asking me about that song. And I told him, I said, I went off, man, I was like, "Dude, we don't believe in communism." I was like, "Fuck that shit." I was like, "I hope it gets abolished." I was like, this and that. And then he's asked me like what I thought of Trump. I told him he's a fucking idiot. And then I look at him at the end of it, I was like, I tap him on the back. I was like, "Was that good?" And he looked at me all scared,
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But, hey, he asked, so I told him.
Yeah, and you told him. So we ended the set, and I decided to go down again to the barriers, and I took about, I'd say 60 to 70 pictures with everybody up front. They all wanted a picture with me. Our set was over. And when I'm walking up, after I'm done with everybody, who asked me for a picture? A fucking cop. There were three, and another cop took a picture with me with the cop, right? And I got to say, I got offered a lot of cocaine, after the show. Yeah. But I work for the city, and I don't do drugs. So, of course,
I had to do them for you.
Yeah, you did them for me. So I declined any coke. I didn't do no coke. Anyway, so then they rush us off to a little tent to do an interview. And we did the little interview, and this guy's playing. And I could have sworn that girl mentioned Che. But I refused to answer that question. I was like, I'm still not answering this. And so that's the end of the set. And we ended up partying afterwards. We had a good time. The next day, wait, no, I'm leaving something out. When I got back to the hotel and I finally had Wi-Fi on my phone, I noticed Thrash Or Die had a message on the Facebook page. And I read it, and it was an angry lady about me talking about cocaine, saying, I'm very disappointed. You would go up there and talk about drugs. You're making our people look bad and this and that. And there were kids in the audience. You're talking about drugs. I'm very disgusted. So I did apologize to her. I said, "Look, I'm sorry. Since I've been here, it's been nothing but great people. It's a great country. I've had nothing but a great experience as far as the people go. Transportation was something else, but that's, beside people." And I did sincerely apologize. I said, "Look, there was a guy that yelled Perico in the audience, and I am, as you guys know, very spontaneous on stage. I don't have anything scripted. I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm always that way. I never script anything. I just go up there, and whatever the fuck I feel like saying, I say it. So I got a little carried away with the Perico talk because when I mentioned the goddamn word, the place erupts. They loved it. So I'm like, hey, it's working. Whatever works, keep going for it, So that was the little bit, I saw that, apologized, over with, right? So the next day, we drive, this time when we drive back to...
we demanded our own van.
Yeah, we said, look, no, not only did we demand our van, they said we had to get up at 7. I said, fuck you.
Yeah, no.
I said,
exactly.
Look, we're going to get up later. I said 1 o'clock, but then I compromised 11 o'clock. I did compromise because I figured, fuck it, 11's good too. But, and yeah, we had our own van. We were able to lay down in the vans and sleep. I slept pretty much the whole trip. Like out of those 6.5 hours, I think I slept like 5 hours.
Right on.
And I got to admit, the one thing that shocked me about the food over there, the Subways was actually better over there than they are here. It tasted quite good. So we get back to the hotel, and we were drained, dude. We were just so fucking tired. Poochie went out though. He found an ATM machine.
I was like a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I think I laid in bed the entire time.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you didn't get up at all. We even went and got you food, and you ended up not even eating the food.
I didn't even eat it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the next day, in the morning, we catch a plane to America, to Miami, and when we land here, that's when all the controversy broke loose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you were the one that saw it, Josh, not even me. Or who was it that saw it?
Poochie saw it.
What did you see, Poochie?
Leo posted 1 through 10 paragraph discussion talking about, why not to be mad at us, and, we're not from the area, and it was mostly a joke, and then kind of calling them hypocrites because, you have soap operas that portray Fidel Castro and all those guys and kind of idolize them. And, I didn't get to read the whole thing because it was the translation thing kind of sucks on Facebook. So I only skimmed through it because I was getting half-ass signal. And then you guys kind of read it. And then I just kept hearing more and more about what really was going on.
And a lot of, people said it made them uncomfortable and this and that. We weren't out to offend anybody,
But we offended such a small portion because, believe me, I didn't hear one boo the whole night. Not one.
That too.
And also, man, even on that page, on that thread that you're talking about, the people that posted in that thread were like, man, we put on a killer performance. That doesn't matter that you said stuff about cocaine. They were like, that's rock and roll. That's how it is. It's unscripted, like you're saying. It's spontaneity. It's
a guy that doesn't even do cocaine saying this shit. That's the part that I'd like to really fucking drill home. It's like you're talking to. I'm just a moron up there just trying to make people laugh and have a good time. That's the whole thing about a Thrash or Die show. Is that's my whole thing, to let everybody laugh and because I'm kind of like the antithesis of a lot of chest beater bands that that pretend they're Phil Anselmo, and I'm up there saying, hey, you can kick my ass, but I can fuck your mom. That's my whole MO. It's like, hey, dude, I'm not a tough guy at all, but I would love to fuck your mom. That's the whole Thrash or Die Dr. Fuck philosophy. But they didn't get it. At least a small portion didn't. Because and then when we were leaving, I don't know if you guys saw this. I was bombarded outside. A lot of people knew Thrash or Die. Oh yeah, what was that shit we saw, Brian? Like Thrash or Die bootlegs out.
It was something, dude. I saw it from backstage at a bad view, and when I went out afterwards to look at it, it was gone.
Oh really? So, probably sold.
Yeah, probably.
I noticed one big thing was Poser Holocaust. And I saw
it was three. I think they may have been back patches. It was Poser Holocaust, Melting Your Skull, and the Cuban Steel Judas Priest design, I think.
Oh wow, I didn't even see that. I saw a logo. I did see a logo too. But
I can tell you this much.
Yeah.
The times that I had to go out the front of house, I had to be taken by someone because every time I go out there, people trying to stop you and say stuff to you and take a picture and this and that. And there's a guy that would take me out there and bring me back.
That's awesome. Yeah. It was a total rock star thing. I mean, us being there was total. And then the which I gotta fucking upload that CD, the Decapitate. Man, those guys were so cool.
Yeah, they
really,
were good, man.
Really cool guys. You know, you got to see them, huh, Josh?
Yeah, I saw him play.
Yeah, because we didn't. I told him I was going to go see him, but because of Gilman, I couldn't. And but we all took pictures of them, and I am going to listen to their stuff. And if it's what they say, it's like I'm definitely playing it on my radio show. And
No, you're going to like it. You're going to like it, dude.
Yeah, then I'm definitely going to promote it. And there was a couple other bands that gave me their CDs too. That I'm going to check them all out. And they were just. I mean, I didn't experience one dickhead that wasn't in Gilman that whole time. You know.
And also that reggae band that we had to drive over with.
Yeah.
I thought this was pretty cool. The sax player kid was like, he was, befriending me a lot, and he's telling me, he's like, man, I have friends back home in Mexico that are fans of your band. He's like, he wanted to take a picture with me to send to his friends.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because it is the third biggest market, Thrash Or Die. It's Germany, Australia, then Mexico. Those are the three biggest markets. But, yeah, so this controversy still going on. I still haven't spoken out on it yet. And after we're done with this podcast, I am going to make a video apologizing. But I'm also going to bring up the fact that, look, you're talking to a guy from America where free speech is known to happen. And like, I can go up on stage and say, in America, I can go up on stage and say, fuck Donald Trump and fuck Obama while you're at it. Fuck both parties. And then I'll get off stage and go on my merry way. So
Not there.
But another thing that was brought up when we got to the airport in Miami is that I could have got arrested. They were like, dude, you could have got arrested for what you said.
That's what I'm saying. You can't do that there.
So it's a good thing that they it snowballed right when we got to the United States. Yep. Because by the time we got to the United States, it was all over the radio. And according to Leo today, hey, turn out that phone.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Including Leo today, it was on the actual news, TV news. They were talking about me.
That's awesome.
Wouldn't it be hilarious while they were talking about me, they had a little picture of me on the side with a crazy face?
Probably a picture from the show or something.
I want to see the news say actually say Dr. Fuck.
Yeah. Thrash or Die, Dr. Fuck.
Senor Fuck.
So, yeah, we made a mark, man. Not only did we play a great show and the people really, really, were enthusiastic about it, we left a dirty stain when we left. We, pissed people off. And we pissed people off that were against me saying Perico, but had no problem with some guy up there with shit propaganda.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'm very proud of myself. But,
yeah.
At the same time, I do need to apologize because it was not my intention to make Colombia look bad, especially the way they treated us.
Yeah, of course.
It was all great people. The last thing I would want to do is go over there and smudge their country. I had no idea it would cause. I mean, if I did, consciously, I knew don't talk politics, don't bring up Che. I don't want to cause no shit here. My point is, if I was aware, if I bring up politics, I'll get in trouble. I think I wouldn't have bought up cocaine if I knew I was going to get in trouble for that. I had no idea. And again, I got to stress, this is a guy that doesn't do cocaine. I don't do drugs. And I'm up there saying this. Of course, yeah, in their defense, they don't know I don't do drugs. Now, here's something that, I don't know you guys heard this. Leo told me this, and this is definitely I'm going to bring up the video. You know what they said in the news report is that they have footage of me doing cocaine. That's
what?
Yes. Yes, that's slander.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And I'm like,
Are they talking about that picture of you snorting the Coca-Cola?
Yeah, right. Because that picture that's 15 years old, where I'm drinking a Coke. I'm at a Denny's with a Coca-Cola with a straw up my nose. But yeah, so. That's one thing that, people here bitch about fake news. Boy, you want to talk about fake news. Footage of me. And you know what? If you're going to say that on TV, we got footage of him doing cocaine, why didn't you show it? Oh, yeah, that's right, because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, right.
So I thought that was fucked up. So and it just goes to show, man. It's like, man, I love Colombia and everything. I don't want to say anything bad about it, but I do appreciate the fact that, you know, America, are as fucked up as our news is and the fake news and this and that, they never really go that far, you know, because in America, no, in America, if you're going to bring up, oh, we have footage of him doing cocaine, they will never say that on the news unless they have the footage on them. You know what I mean? You would never see that. You know, it's like, you know, like, remember Donald Trump, you know, grab her by the pussy? Yeah. They would have never mentioned that unless they had that footage of that audio clip of him doing it, you know? Because it's all hearsay, you know? But I thought that was fucked up. But at the same time, it's like, wow, dude. I mean, I can't believe I caused such an uproar just doing what I do at every show, you know? So, yeah, that's what all the controversy's about. And as Leo told me today, it's snowballed into actual TV news, radio broadcasts, and who knows, I guess newspaper, I'm sure, you know. I would love to get the clip of that. I would love to get that news footage.
Yeah, right.
That'd be awesome.
Hey, remember I said something about that? Remember I was like, dude, imagine if it was like, you know, breaking news, American band from Miami, Florida, Thrash or Die, you know, supports cocaine usage. And it actually happened.
And then look what happened, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't end up on Blabbermouth.
Oh, yeah. I joke about it, and it actually fucking happened. And I'm like, because I was thinking about, like, you know, there's a lot of propaganda that goes on in that type of environment, not just, you know, Colombia, but in a communist-based, you know, government. They're always out to take out people that they don't, you know, agree with, that could make them look bad, you know, even though they arrest people and take away the humans' right of their own people, and, you know, pretty much.
And who knows? And who knows? Maybe this started a revolution.
That'd be fun.
The Dr. Fuck revolution.
Yeah. You know, they say it made them uncomfortable, you know, and while we weren't out to do that, you know, it sounds like their philosophy is to just ignore it and maybe it'll go away, you know. If anything, bringing attention to a major issue is what makes a difference happen.
Yeah. And you know, and you have this very popular series called Narcos, which is about Pablo Escobar in Colombia. What do you expect? The whole world thinks that of you, you know?
Well, look, dude, think of this, man. It's like going to Germany and playing a huge fest and talking about how great Hitler is or something.
Well, which again, I know better than that, you know?
Right.
I mean, I know how.
But to them, I guess cocaine and that shit is really, really a problem. It seems like.
I'm just glad Puerto Rico ain't against Monfongo.
Right.
Because, you know, I kept screaming that on stage, you know, and because somebody screamed Monfongo, and I screamed Monfongo, and everybody loved it. It's no different, you know.
Which is, dude, speaking of which, we need to get our asses back down there and play some shows.
Exactly. I would love to play Colombia again, but I value my life.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I'm down to do that again, you know. But I will apologize, and I am apologizing right now. In no way did I go over there to smudge, you know, the country, because they treated us great. We were treated awesomely. Even during, like, the horrible parts where Brian was sick and everything, you know, they got him pills, we pulled over, they let him rest. You know,
everything that happened, they made up to us and more.
Yeah, they really did. Everything, and believe me, I left there happy. You know, I was miserable, and then after the show and everything that happened after the show, they made up for it. They made up for everything. So, and I want to thank Leo a lot, because Leo really busted his ass, and he did take his time out. He came to the hotel very worried about how we were, and, you know, because he was clueless. He was just too busy with this festival, and plus he was too busy, like, trying to make everything work for Gilman.
And everyone else, really.
Yeah, and everyone else. I mean, he had a lot on his plate, but, you know, you have some bitchy-ass Americans that went through hell, you know, not only to get to that festival, but we went through hell even before we went to Colombia to get this set down. I mean, it was stressful on me, man, because at my job, my coworker was on vacation. I was there alone with no sleep, and I was just dying, dude. I was dying. It was terrible. But in the end, like, you know, like you say, you have to suffer for greatness, you know. You have to suffer for your art, and boy,
hey man, hard times build character.
I never paid my dues more than I did for that Colombian gig, and it worked. You know,
Okay.
I have no Brian. A couple of mishaps happened to Brian, but it was unnoticeable. You know, I mean, to me, everything sounded fucking great. I think the only glitch the whole night was me stepping on the iPod.
Yeah.
You know, during No Posers Allowed, actually, because we were so rushed to set up, I never got a chance to even tighten the pedals onto the bass drum, and they came off.
Damn.
You know, I was like, oh my god, this is bad, you know. But looking back at the video, you know, it's just unnoticeable. You know, when you're up on stage, you hear every little flub, you know, and you think, oh my god, this is terrible, we sound awful. But, you know, then you look back and it's like, oh, that wasn't so really bad.
I mean,
I'm very proud of the whole band, really. You know, we worked very, very hard, and I love looking back at the videos because it's just amazing and surreal to watch in front of that many people. Like, wow, that was us. We sounded that good.
Definitely.
And
Nah, man, I want to
reaction.
say you guys worked your asses off, man. For me, it wasn't as hard because obviously I knew the material, but you guys really put in the time.
Thank God I knew, like, the first album at least, because I've heard it for so many years.
You guys really put in the time, the man hours, man, and did it, dude. And I'm proud of everybody.
Oh yeah.
We definitely killed, and that was my philosophy when I was like, dude, we are fucking busting our ass. This shit's gonna. I didn't think for 1 second it wasn't gonna work. And now I'll be honest. I mean, I didn't think we were gonna get that good of a reaction. I thought we're gonna kick ass and people are gonna love us, but I didn't think they were gonna love us that much.
I already played the fest last year with Solstice, so I knew, man, if it was what Leo said and then some, it was going to be amazing. So I knew all the hard times we were going through, it would be worth it.
And this festival had even more people.
Yep. Oh, yeah, dude, I just looked at the pictures online because I have, you know, the pictures like we did at the end and the same thing with Solstice. And you can see the demarcation line of people when I played with Solstice. With us, that entire fucking thing is packed.
Yeah,
you cannot see the end of the heads.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all the way to the back. I noticed that too, you know. And when I was telling the crowd, let me hear you back there, you heard them, you know. They're all screaming back there. It was fucking amazing. So there you go, my friends. That's it. That's our story of Colombia. And again, I want to thank you, Brian, a lot, and Poochie, and Gio, and you, Josh, man, for making this happen, because this is my baby. I am the quote-unquote leader of Thrash or Die, though I don't like being the leader, but at the same time, it is my baby. It's what I started, and you guys helped.
And hey, man, I'm proud to be a part of it, dude.
And you guys helped to propel it to what we did in Colombia, which was mind-blowing. I mean, I've played big shows before, but nothing, not even half of that. Fuck, not even a quarter of that, you know? I think the most people I ever played to was 1,100 people. So that was mind-blowing, you know?
And I'd like to give out a shout-out to Guido, the Guillotine, because he saved our lives in some points, you know? I mean, he was an expert in going around that country, and, you know, he worked hard translating for us, you know? Unfortunately, he's not here in this conversation, but he definitely deserves some recognition because
of course,
he did a lot for us.
Yeah, because if it was up to me with my broken Spanish, we'd be fucked.
Well, he pretty much turned into our manager. He took care, already had our ticket information. He had the contacts. He emailed us all the, you know, the greeting and the approval letters stating that, you know, we're coming to Colombia for the show for immigration. You know, he took care of money. Every time, you know, we were kind of stuck in a language barrier, he would hit up that Ricardo dude or his girlfriend and make shit work out and get it all set up so we didn't have to be like, oh shit, what do we do? You know?
Yeah, no, he was great, dude. He definitely was.
Yep. I gotta love Guido, and most importantly, the most important part you guys forgot to mention was his shorts.
Oh yeah, his shorts.
Had to get the shorts.
his shorts.
Hey, dude, hold on. I gotta tell you this part. I was playing, and I'm used to these kind of events. Not like I do them all the time, but I've done enough of them to where I wasn't nervous up there, and I was kind of worried about, you know, Guido and Pooch, and I seen Pooch was doing fine, and I look over the first song and I see Guido's head down and he's playing, man, and I'm like, oh fuck. So I fucking go over there And I get right up to him, and I'm staring him in the face, and I notice his fucking eyes are closed. I'm like, oh, boy. So I'm just staring at him. Finally, he opens his eyes, and he looks at me, and he's all surprised, and I see this big smile come across his face. And I just laugh at his ass, and I walked away. And after that, he was like, everything was good with him.
Yeah, he was nervous. I know Brian was nervous, too, because he said that to me in the hotel. Were you nervous, Pooch?
Oh, yeah, I was definitely nervous, but I'm like, it's not like I'm going to get up on stage and fucking, fail. I just made...
No, I didn't... Listen, I didn't think he was going to do that, but I wanted to bust him out of that. I could see he was in like a... You needed to be in the moment, too, but I could tell something was going on over there, and I was just like, I'm going to bust him out of that shit real quick.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel you, because, I was like, I hope I get to experience this again in my lifetime, wherever in the world, but, right then and right there, seeing all those people, I had to absorb that energy, just stare at them the whole time because I just couldn't believe my eyes. Obviously I was paying attention to my playing too, but just being able to see everyone go off and the reaction and just the whole experience, it was life changing. I won't lie. This is something that, being with my brothers, I can't replace this. This is something in my life that is always going to be there if I make it to 90 years old. I'm always going to remember this over a lot of things that happen in my life.
And another thing, very important, if this never happens to you again, you did it anyway.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people get to experience that. People, even big bands, all these bands could go to Wacken and go to Hellfest and all that, which is great too. But a lot of bands don't get to go to Colombia and certain parts of South America. I realize it's a rarity. I just seen Municipal Waste is playing Colombia in February, but I was talking to Leo and them, and they don't get those type of bands to go down there, So it's kind of an honor and a special occasion that we could actually see that culture and kind of, get those vibes from another aspect of life of people less privileged. It kind of changes you in a way. I was telling about that.
Not to mention from a little local band from Miami to get to go do that's not signed or anything or has any backing besides ourselves.
A band that refuses to play by the rules, refuses to do this and that. Oh, we got to get signed. We need to get a manager. We need to do this. No, fuck that. Everything about Thrash or Die since day one has been grassroots. Because the philosophy of Thrash or Die was fuck fame, fuck money, fuck popularity. Just play it from the heart. And you know what? It all comes to you anyway.
Damn right.
Because if you play music for dollar signs, you're gonna suck.
Not too many people get to that point.
You second guess your shit. All the bad, horrible reviews Thrash or Die got with Poser Holocaust. Hey, let's amplify Poser Holocaust on Melting Your Skull. Let's not change. And all this negative shit, which is very, another thing, Thrash or Die gets a lot of negative attention, but if you go on any random Thrash or Die video, it'll be maybe 5% negative and 95% positive. So, but there's something about that 5% that everybody has to point at. Oh, they said this about you. Well, what about the people that are saying great things about us? What about the people that have tattoos of Thrash or Die? What about that movie, the Trauma movie that has our song? What about these bootleg shirts and the patches we saw at the festival? And these things. I
don't know many signed bands that people have tattoos of on their
exactly, and it's just mind blowing. And all this was done with just a pure instinct of let's just do it because we love it. We love the music. I don't never second guess anything we ever do. Well, let me do this because it'll appeal to this portion of the audience. Or no, fuck that, dude. We have to write songs for us, and if we like it, it's a success. If we make another album and everybody hates it and we love it, it's a success.
Oh yeah,
I'm not gonna fucking. If anybody doesn't like Thrash or Die, I'm not you. And I always say the same thing to people. Name me one fucking band, one band in the history of music that is universally loved. It's not,
right.
Not everybody loves Morbid Angel. Not everybody loves the Beatles. You can go down the line. Just name it, well-respected bands have a lot of haters,
Of course.
So, there you go. So, I want to thank you guys, dude. This was a great episode.
Hell yeah, man.
Thank you, man.
And thanks for letting me be a part of Thrash or Die as well.
You got it, Brian. Yeah, it was great having you, dude. And I also want to bring up the fact that you were, well, actually, it was me that talked about getting you in the band before Marquez. But Willie didn't want you in the band because he said, quote unquote, what are we, a daycare center? Because we had Ryan.
Damn, dude.
Because, Ryan was, 16, 17 at the time. And Brian, you're his age, right?
I'm actually a year older than Ryan, I think.
All right, you were 17 at the time when we got Ryan. And I brought you up. And Willie was totally against it, So.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Look at Willie now.
I thought it was funny when the whole scenario happened. We were kind of freaking out because Leo's like, can you get a fill-in? And before he said Brian, in the chat, I was like, all right, should I start hitting up Brian or Joe McCourt, my drummer from Graveseeker? And, next thing you know, a couple of minutes after that, Leo's like, what about that Brian Wilson kid from Hellwitch? And he read our mind. And then I was like, all right, I can't wait. We're on a time limit. It's either now or never. So I just I hit up Brian and I'm like, dude, can you do this? We need to play Colombia because these people really want to see us, and all the hard work that Leo put into this. I could understand why he was freaking out, not in a bad way, freaking out, just man, the tickets are already paid for. And, on the promotion side and the actual throwing a event like that, I understand all the hard work that's put into it, and I didn't want to let the people down, and the promoters and the country as a whole.
Well, not to mention they said that they would have canceled this event if we didn't come there to play.
Yeah, Leo said that to Josh. He said, dude, if you guys wouldn't have played, they would have had to cancel it. So, there you go. We saved the day for him,
Yeah.
But we did it at our expense. At a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on that shit, because I did make Brian cry. And so, yeah, but you know what, man? We were victorious. And not only that, victorious and controversial. Something I did not expect to happen,
Yeah, me neither.
In a million years, I never would have thought I'd be in the news because I mentioned cocaine in Colombia.
Bro.
This shit's great.
It's great, yeah. And hopefully it will snowball a little more to Blabbermouth. Who knows, If Blabbermouth was more in tune with Colombia, we would be on Blabbermouth now.
Yeah, exactly.
But who knows? After my apology, I figure it would calm down, but maybe not, because I don't plan on being a dick about it. I will. I will bring up the fact that, hey, man, if you say you have footage of me snorting cocaine, show it or never say that. That's not fucking right.
Yeah.
I got family too. And I got, and I got a job where, they drug test me and shit like that. Don't be putting my name out there like that just because I'm like a goofy, retarded guy on stage saying cocaine over and over again because people were loving it and I was making people happy. I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of the comments I got. One guy wrote it was the greatest show he ever saw in his life. It was that was the best show I ever saw. I mean, these people don't see this type of music over there that much.
Dude, listen. We bring a kind of energy to the stage that from touring, in my experience, other bands just don't do what we do, man. They don't do it like we do. They play the same kind of music, but we have some kind of anger issues or something, dude. I don't know what it is that we definitely have more energy in our set. It's something.
Thrash or Die is always a good time. When you go see a Thrash or Die show, and a lot of people hate us for that because a lot of people don't like to have a good time with metal. You can't say something funny, but then these same people go listen to SOD. Go figure.
Yeah.
But anyway, we could go on and on for hours, bro. But I want to thank you guys, and I hope we explained thoroughly. I don't think we left anything out. Well,
we did. I'm aware of.
No, we did leave a couple things out, but I think, yeah, we're gonna work on that. And another thing, we may be releasing this as a single. What was it, 7-inch or something?
No. I was thinking we'd do a 7-inch, and then we'll talk about it, dude. But something along those lines would be cool because do that in a DVD or something.
Yeah, because we actually got soundboard recording of this show.
Yes, we do.
Not the full show, because the guy, another fuck up. He didn't press record.
technical difficulty about beyond technical difficulty. When I went to front of house to finally put my laptop there and show him, after I've talked to him about this, and he said, yeah, he's telling me, oh, I don't have a USB input like that. And so I'm an engineer. I know the LS9. I'm like, yes, you do. So I go back behind it, and lo and behold, they hadn't installed the card for that. So I'm like, fuck. So I'm thinking to myself, what can I do now? I'm like, oh, the port where they load the shows in. I'm like, here, take this USB stick and give me a left and right then, since you can't give me what I asked for. And he says, okay, no problem. So then his dumb ass doesn't hit fucking record on it until 3.5 songs into our set. So, yeah.
So, yeah, we at least we got the whole show on various video cameras.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all took cameras, so we do have it on video. But, yeah, unfortunately, the soundboard is not the full show. But we will release some of that soundboard, you know.
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
All right, dude. So I guess we will thrash later.
You got it.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
Later, guys.
All right, man.
Bye.
All right. I want to thank the guys from the band joining us. And, man, let me tell you, they were all great. Hanging out with them in Colombia, man. We had such a great time. It was just... Oh, I love these guys. Anyway, so somebody brought to my attention last week's episode, the movies episode, I didn't play a song like I was doing on all the previous ones where I dig into the Vieira Vault to play a song. Unfortunately, I don't have the soundboard to the Colombia show. Josh has it, and I never got around to asking him. At least send me a song so I can play it on here. But what I do have is John Pucci, his band, Graveseeker. I want to play something from them. As far as I know, this is the only thing they've recorded so far, but they are working on I guess an album or EP, whatever. But I really dig this band. They're total traditional metal. Dan, great guy. The singer is fucking awesome. They're all great guys. Jim and Kyle and all those guys are just the shit. I mean, Dean. I'm sorry. Dean and Jim and Poochie and... So I want to play this song from Graveseeker, and it's their theme song. This is called The Graveseeker.
Praise
Hell yeah, The Grave Seeker. I love that song. I love that band. They're amazing live, and I'm looking forward to their release. Anyway, so about to say my goodbyes, but before I say my goodbyes, here are some plugs.
Hey, I'm Dr. Fuck.
And I'm the Ayatollah of Alcohola.
And we are from the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast.
If you want to check out some crazy, uncensored, unbiased, totally nuts reviews of classic hard rock and heavy metal albums, check us out. You can get us on Podbean and iTunes. New episodes every Sunday.
That's right. And we also do each other's moms.
True. Free of charge.
Well, mine charges.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mine's free.
Earpillar, the podcasting and interview news site. To keep up with your favorite bands or artists and the podcasts or interviews where they appear, go to earpillar.com to find out what we're all about.
You haven't listened to Mars Attacks podcast? What are you waiting for, man? Host Victor Emrois brings you all types of hard rock and metal-based podcasts. You'll find everything from music-based episodes, interviews, to series such as Ultra Sexy Classic Album Series, where some of your favorite musicians, producers, journalists, and show hosts comment on the albums that push the evolutionary chains of hard rock and metal. Get with it and go to MarsAttacksRadio.com to find out more.
Listen to The Rock Show with Gully and Joe. Go to all the W's, Gully, GULLYANDJOA.UK, 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern. The Rock Show with Gully and Joe. Listen to it. Don't be a cunt.
All right, Kiss Army. Since 2007, you've been getting Podkissed, the Kiss audio fanzine for your ears.
That's right, it's your Podkissed. Every month, the Podkiss crew, along with the Kiss Room, brings you Kiss talk like no one else, whether it be roundtables, interviews with the band past and present, analysis, and great Kiss fun.
Hi, this is Dave Fraley, and you're listening to Podkissed.
Hi, this is Bruce Kulick, and you're listening to Podkissed.
The Podkissed, the Kiss audio fanzine for your ears.
Hey everybody, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Chris.
And we're from the Decibel Geek Podcast. And if you love this...
then you'll love us.
That's right. Brand new episode every single Monday. You can find us on iTunes and at decibelgeek.com. And the best thing is, it's rock and roll and it's always free.
Music's most diverse podcast, starring Luke Innes, Greg Simp Bootlegs, and Mr. T from Germany. New episodes released every Saturday on Podbean, Podcast Addict, and iTunes. The true alternative podcast.
Have you developed paralysis from trying to choose a movie on Netflix? Of course you have. There's too much garbage on Netflix to sift through. So join us on our podcast, We Watched It For You. We watch a bad movie every week and try to determine its watchability. We Watched It For You is for bad movie fans, B-movie fans, underground film fans, and cult movie fanatics alike. Don't miss an episode of We Watched It For You, a guide to the lesser-known movies of Netflix, available on iTunes or wherever you download your podcasts.
Hello, my name is Lee Gerstmann, and I have a podcast which is improvisational in time. The next episode might be 20 seconds away or it might be 20 years away, but it's called The Lee Gerstmann Show, and I do a lot of record reviews, but I also do editorials about women and food and other subjects, strange or otherwise. Feel free to take a listen to The Lee Gerstmann Show on Spreaker. Thank ya.
Hey, headbangers, you want your own radio show? Well, you got it. On Thursday nights, here on that metal station, Join me on the Dr. Fuck Show. Go in the chat room and I will make you my co-host. That's right. Everybody that joins me in the chat room, I discuss whatever you guys want to talk about. I'll mention your name, I'll say what you say, and we're going to go back and forth. And I'll even fucking play whatever request you want. Unless it sucks, then I ain't playing it because my show rules. And only songs that rule is allowed right here on that metal station. The Dr. Fuck Show airs live Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. Well, no, fuck that hope. I better see you there, motherfucker.
Hey, rock music fans. This is Terrence Reardon of the Terrence Reardon and Friends Audiovisual Podcast. Join yours truly as I look every week at a different classic rock or metal album that had a major impact on my life, and I'm usually joined by a friend or two or 10. And we talk about nothing but great classic rock and metal. And there's no country or Sammy Hagar or rap on the fucking show. That shit is frowned upon with yours truly. So if you want a great classic rock audiovisual podcast, tune on in to the Terrence Reardon and Friends Audiovisual Podcast. New episodes every Monday, exclusively on YouTube.
Hey, this is DJ Mac. I want to let you guys know about the podcast with my co-host DJ Metal Mike, Mind Over Metal. You can find us at mindovermetalpodcast.com. We're also on Spreaker, iTunes, Podbean, and just about everywhere else you get your fucking podcast from. Oh yeah, and we're also on YouTube. So check us out for the best in heavy metal and hard rock music, news, discussion, and reviews. That's the Mind Over Metal podcast. Download it, subscribe to it today.
You better stand, there's no turning back. All right, this is me signing off, Ralph Vieira. And the Vieira Vault, thank you so much for listening. I'm going to start packing my bags now. I'm leaving tomorrow morning for Nashville, and we're also going to Memphis to visit Graceland. I'm very excited for the Rock and Pod Expo. And thanks everybody involved, like Chris Sinsnack and Ken Mills and Wadzilla, and I'm sure we'll have an update on the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast next week. You'll get to hear about the shenanigans we did over there, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of it. So, till next week, my friends, thank you so much for listening, especially if you're listening to my voice right now. You fucking rule. Thank you, and good night.